we're going to be doing a 2-round mock draft for all you draft nuts out there. NFL draft is in 2 days. We're recording on 4/26, Tuesday. So let me break open the Naked Dove for you right now. It is the mango sour. Not a big sour guy, but we're going to see what happens here. Right now we're sharing the screen with you. It is the PFF mock draft simulator. We're going to go 2 rounds, like I said. We're going to go based off of a few things. I'm really excited to do this, but basically I'm generating my picks based off of a few things. My big board, which you're going to see right over here. Don't pay attention to the players over here. Team needs, public perception, and where they're rated publicly. Not as much, but team pick history as well, kind of where teams have went in the past, and what reliable sources here, like Peter Schrager, oh, Trayvon Walker might be going in the top 5 now, or Mel Kiper says that, So let's just dig right into it and get right into the mock. I feel like a big thing right now that Doug Peterson, he's taken over the team. Would it be nice to have a reliable defensive end? Absolutely, but it would be even more reliable to have a long-term solution at left tackle. Cam Robinson, I don't know if he really wants to be there long-term. They tagged him. So Doug Peterson, I feel like he wants to start with a solid foundation and wants that franchise left tackle, and they'll get that in Ike Ekwonu. I'm going to have a scouting report that I'm going to pull up for you guys along the way. Ekwonu is the number 3 guy on my board. He delivers the biggest punch in the class of all the tackles, most balance in class versus pass and run. Very nasty finisher with very high motor as well. He can. My notes on him are that he can stand to be a little more patient in the NFL. Sorry, I had to pull something up. Has a family of athletes. His dad and mom his mom was a track star, and his dad moved to Nigeria to play in the NFL, from Nigeria to play in the NFL in the early 90s. And Ekwonu was a 3-year starter as well at NC State. Great bloodline. I always like that. So that leaves Aidan Hutchinson, the best player available for a lot of these people in the draft, a lot of these teams. That's a slam dunk pick there, keeps him in Michigan. And he's number 2 on my big board. What I've got on him is high motor in relentless effort, 14 games in 2021, 16.5 tackles for loss, 14 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. Uses a wide variety of moves to get around the edge. Plays off ball 3-4 edge or a 4-3. He can stick his hand in the dirt and play that way as well. He's a little lean for his size. He's 6'7", 260. May have maxed out his frame and muscle mass. Average run game instincts. You think 260 at 6'7", he could fill out a little more, but I don't know if his frame will allow for that. That's my only concern. There's not a perfect prospect. So my comp on him is Nick Bosa. Number 3 pick is Evan Neal, an extremely versatile tackle in this draft that could play guard, even center as well. He played a couple snaps there in college, but my big thing for Evan Neal is he played over 1,000 snaps for Nick Saban at Alabama. He's number 4 on my big board now. And my scouting report on him is amazing size and athleticism, most versatile offensive lineman in the class by far. So look at this. In 2019, he played 666 snaps at left guard. 2020, he played 546 snaps at right tackle, 22 at left tackle. And 2021, he played 835 snaps at left tackle. So incredibly versatile guy. Love him. And then we go now to the number 1 player on my board. Excuse me. Ahmad Sauce Gardner. He's number 1 on my big board And typically, I don't have corners up that high, but he literally played perfect this past year. He started 37 games in his time at Cincinnati, allowed 13 catches all season, 3 versus Alabama in the college football playoff for 17 yards, did not allow a catch for over 13 yards, nor a touchdown in 2021. Always a willing tackler in the open field. Level of competition is my only slight on him, which may be a concern. Played number 9 Notre Dame, number 21 Houston, and number 1 Alabama of note. My comp on him is Antonio Cromartie, honestly. And that's pretty high praise for a guy that played very lights out. So we're going to go to number 5 now. This is a guy that a lot of people have soaring up on their boards. Trayvon Walker. A lot of guys got him going number 1 or number 2. I'm not seeing it personally. He's number 12 on my big board. I do like him. He's a bit of a project, though. You see a lot of these guys coming out of Georgia, and the production wasn't necessarily there because so many guys got a chance to eat on that defense. But he didn't. There's too many times I watched him on film and he just didn't get home. Kuiper's initial reaction to him, it was only 2 months ago after the season ended. He watched all this film and he said he's going to go 10 to 12 overall. Somehow between then and now that changed for him. I think he's got him 2nd overall currently. I'm not seeing it. Louis Riddick is right with me. He's a great prospect and I agree with him, but I agree with these other guys, but I don't know. Number 1, number 2 might be a little to reach for me. My comp on him is Jadeveon Clowney. He's going to be a really good pro, more than likely. My report on him is understands gap assignments. He's very smart, versatile, played several positions. But yeah, for me, he didn't get home often enough. I mean, he disrupts plays, but he didn't get home enough for me. So my number 6 guy, this is where it really gets fucked up for a lot of people. This was one of the toughest mock drafts I've ever done. It was the toughest mock draft I've ever done. I'm not gonna lie. It is going to be Kenny Pickett, if I can find him. Let me pause this one quick second. Where are you, buddy? Is there an option to search players? That would be great. All right, so I found him. Kenny Pickett. It's tough because their next pick is 137, I believe. So either they can trade down with a team like Philadelphia. It's being reported that they want to trade up at this moment. But it's going to be tough. I don't know if they roll out Sam Darnold and say, good luck, buddy, because Matt Rule is on kind of a short leash right now. I think they go Kenny Pickett. Number 6 might be a little rich, but I've seen worse. Like Darnold taken super high. Pickett had an awesome season. He's super accurate. He's a 3-year starter, 3.5-year starter, kind of. But, there's too many connections. Matt Rule recruited him coming out of Temple. before Rule left. And then the GM for the Carolina Panthers has his Pittsburgh connection as well. So a lot of things line up there. I think they just say bite the bullet and say, you know what, let's get this guy at 6, honestly. Number 7, I've got Charles Cross going to the New York Football Giants. And he's a number 9 guy on my board. Over 20 starts as a redshirt sophomore. One of the best pass blockers in this class. Super athletic. Instincts are super high. Wins versus backside cutoff situations, great balance, great hands, great at redirecting defenders, very average in the run game. Really was not asked to block a ton in the run game, especially from a traditional like I formation or single back situation. So he's going to have a lot of work in the running game. That's why I got him going 7 overall. Excellent pass protector though. Number 9 guy on my board. So number 8, I've got a very similar situation for the Falcons as well. Let me pause this because I know he's way down on the board here. All right, I've got Malik Willis going to the Atlanta Falcons at number 8. And simply because they do have a lot of needs, but drafting a wide receiver and not having a franchise quarterback, not saying that Malik Willis is, but he can be developed over time to potentially be that guy for them. I don't think a receiver is very wise to go here, and there's not a guard that's high up enough, not a defensive lineman that really, there's Kayvon Thibodeau, but I don't see them going that route. They've got a lot of holes to fill, but not a big fan of Marcus Mariota heading into this season. I'm not going to lie. So I could see them definitely trading down. Again, with the Eagles who are looking to trade up, they got picks 15 and 16. They could end up getting Willis 15 and 18. I could see Willis getting picked at 18 with the Falcons trading back too. Highly possible. But Willis has an absolute cannon, and he can take off and run too. He had 1,000 yards last year at Liberty. Extremely elusive, but also has the build of a running back. So he's not a slight frame guy whatsoever. So he's gonna be really fun to watch at the next level, I think, eventually. And I've got Thibodeau just because there's so many edge guys and there's so many offensive linemen. I've got him falling all the way to 9 for the Seattle Seahawks. On my big board, he is number 7. My scouting report on him is, number 1 recruit coming out of 2019 and out of high school. Great size and athleticism combination, awesome bend on the edge, best defensive end in the class versus the run, displays heavy hands always, can play in either 3-4 or 4-3 scheme, consistency and effort. Have been a few concerns from teams, doesn't use multiple moves at times. Sometimes he can rely on one and he just keeps pushing it. If his initial speed and burst doesn't work off a line of scrimmage, then he's, kind of weakened a bit. But I think he's going to be a really good edge rusher. He's going to be like a 7-8 sack guy a year. I don't worry that much about the consistency and effort on his end, but he'll be a solid pro. He'll be a pretty solid pro at the next level. That's why I've got him as my number 7 guy. And that leads me to the New York Jets at number 10. I see them drafting Jameson Williams, wide receiver out of Alabama. He is my number 6 prospect on my big board. Um, and my prospect profile on him is fastest, quickest off line of scrimmage in the wide receiver class. He stands tall. He's almost 6'2". And he had 8 catches of 50-plus yards last season, most in college football. Shifty in his routes and is the best at using head fakes, game-changing 4.3 speed also. Excellent release, although when he's bodied within 10 yards, he has to use his speed to get around the defender. Only concern is the ACL, really, but he tore it when he was 20 years old. He was born 321. This was on 321, sorry. So he should be good. I mean, guys at that age heal a lot quicker, and a lot of the feedback right now is that he could even be ready by training camp. So he could be ready for week 1 without even missing a game at this point, which is incredible. That's the thing with 20-year-olds when they get hurt, they just heal quicker, So I'm not that worried about it, to be honest. I think he's still a top 10 pick for me. And then number 11, I've got Derek Stingley. Very interesting guy. I've got him rated a lot lower than a lot of teams. Number 19, but something that teams look at. Okay. This is why they are GMs and we are not. They look at a few things. They look at, what have you done for me lately? What are your kind of stats and availability? Availability is the best ability. That's the old saying, right? He missed 7 games last season with the Liz Frank injury, which is a little troublesome, but he also missed a few games in 2020 as well. Missed 3 games in 2020 due to injury, only played 3 games this past year. So you got a little bit of injury concern coming into his rookie season. He's a former number 1 player overall in the 2019 recruiting class. Has highest upside of any player in the draft, really. I mean, when you look at the tape when he was at his peak, he was more shut down than Sauce Gardner. So 11 could be the steal of the draft, or it could be the bust of the draft. I feel like he's boomer bust, honestly. He's such a hard player to gauge at this point. But he looked good in his pro day, which I don't put a lot of stock into that typically, but he's always displayed extremely loose hips, can always turn on a dime, has great acceleration. So he's a guy for me that's just definitely the toughest guy to project going to the next level. 19 on my board. Number 12, I think if he remains here, this is going to be an absolute steal. Love this guy. He's probably my favorite player in this entire draft. And where the hell is he on here? Oh my God, really? See, Pro Football Focus can be so effed up sometimes. I mean, he's ranked number 32. Are you kidding me? Jermaine Johnson. Let me just pound on the table for this guy real quick. He is my number 8 player in this draft. I wanted to rank him higher, but it was tough to put him ahead of Thibodeau. He transferred to Georgia after 2020. He's played 28 career games, not including junior college. He started at junior college. In 2020, he was a rotational guy, only 4 starts at Georgia. So he decided, you know what, I'm going to go out, show out, and be the guy at Florida State. Let me get into the story first, though. He played junior college for 2 years. He was a transfer in 2019. He lost 40 to 50 pounds before going to Georgia. He's extremely smart, and he takes great angles, understands gap assignments, great with his hands, incredible speed, lateral movement to chase down running backs. There's a lot of instances on tape where I saw him just hunting down running backs to get to the sideline, to beat them to the edge. He ran a 4.58 in his 40 in his combine. Incredible effort, though. I just love this guy. There's not many holes I can poke in his game at all. He's got a ton of experience. He's going to be ready day one. In 12 games this past season at Florida State, he had 17 and a half tackles for loss, 11 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles as their main guy. He's 23, so he's got tons of experience, as I mentioned. Could stand to refine his finesse moves. Can be a little stiff at times, but I don't really see many holes in this game, to be honest. Number 13, I've got a lot of guys love this guy, but again, you have to understand the GMs and what they look at. Safety is not really a big need as far as when you draft in the first round. I mean, you see like Derwin James fell to the teens before he got drafted. There's a lot of guys that Minkah Fitzpatrick was almost a second rounder. I mean, Kyle Hamilton to be drafted 13th overall should still be a pretty big accomplishment for a safety. He's the number 5 guy on my big board. And my notes on him are he's extremely athletic with great length and speed. He's got great instincts. He's an extremely smart player. He can play in the box, and he can even play in the nickel. So very, very, very versatile. I like this guy a lot. I don't like him as much as most guys do. People think he's going to be like a Hall of Famer. Like, slow your roll. You look at the tape, and his receivers, when he closes on the ball, I feel like speed at the next level in the NFL can hurt him. When you look at his metrics, compared to a Jesse Bates had a better cone drill. He had a better shuttle time. I'm not saying that's everything, but the speed is not like top notch where you need to be. It's my only real concern. And then the level of competition. He only played Wisconsin, who was ranked 18, and Cincinnati, who was ranked 7th. And he allowed a touchdown in that game. So he missed 6 games as well last year. So I think he's going to be a really nice pro. It's a weird comp because he's not as tall as Kyle Hamilton. Hamilton is 6'4", by the way, 220. But something about his game reminds me of Rod McLeod from Philadelphia. Well, now he's on the Colts, but very rangy safety. I mean, I think Kyle Hamilton will be a little bit better. He'll probably make 2 or 3 Pro Bowls. He'll have a nice career, though. He's the number 5 guy on my board. And then number 14, I have got Trent McDuffie out of Washington going to the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's a great fit because he's great in man, but he can do a lot of other things when asked to. He loves tackling. He really likes to put his head in the cage and really just get in there. He's a number 10 guy on my board. He's played in 27 games for the Huskies in his career. He's got great awareness, great field vision, very physical defender. Primarily zone, but he can also play man. I flipped it earlier. He's primarily zone, but he can play man, and he's good at it too. He fits many schemes, though. He's very disciplined, not faked by a lot of moves that wide receivers have. Very willing tackler in the run game as well. He's got really fluid hips, and he's an extremely smart player. Not super lengthy, but that's not a huge concern of mine. He didn't have a ton of production, only had 8 passes defended and 2 interceptions in his career. But a lot of that was because they didn't go to him a ton. They didn't look his direction a ton. So number 15, I have, where is he? Jordan Davis out of Georgia. I don't think he falls past 15, to be honest. I don't care about the motor concerns or any of that stuff. I don't see that as a concern for me. I think a lot of it is the scheme and what he was asked to do. He was taken out sometimes. But my profile on Jordan Davis, he's the number 14 guy on my big board. 6'6", 341, best interior D lineman, run defender by far. Consistently got doubled, and it didn't really matter when he was at Georgia. He's the strongest by far, also versatile and can play at the 3 tech as well. Very agile and displays great lateral mobility. Motor has been a question, and if he can stay under 350 is my question. He's got to maintain that weight. If he can do that, man, he can be like a Haloti Ngata, where he just eats up the middle and lets other guys feast. He will help out Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox so much if he goes there, though. I would be so excited to get him. I mean, he's a monster. Number 16, I've got Drake London going to the New Orleans Saints. Where is he on my board? He's number 15 on my big board. I'm not as high on him as some people. So let me just go over his profile real quick. He's 6'4", 219. He played 8 games in 2021, where he had 88 catches for 1,084 yards. 7 touchdowns before missing rest of the year with an ankle fracture. He's a great intermediate route runner, 15 yards and in. Does a great job of finding separation in close situations, within 15 yards. Great athleticism. He's a former basketball star, so he can also go up and get it for you if you need him to. He's got great hands, although drops were an issue a couple games that I watched on tape. And he was kind of a product of a 4-4 USC team, which was the time of his injury, and he went out for the season. Product of a 4-4 USC team that was down and had to throw a ton. In college, he used his strength and at the top of his routes to get separation, but I have questions if he can overpower defensive backs at the next level to win sometimes. I'm not sure if he could be a downfield threat. Doesn't have breakaway speed. Guys compare him to, this is Mike Evans. No. Mike Evans had a ton of deep ball catches too. He really spread the field for the Aggies when he was with Manziel and company. Not sure if he can be that guy, though, to break away and get you, big catches downfield. Level competition, he only faced one ranked team in the 8 games that he played this past season, and that was against number 13 Notre Dame. My comp on him is Chase Claypool. I think he'll make a Pro Bowl or two, but a little better than Chase Claypool. I think he'll be like a 900 to 1,000-yard receiver a year. He'll be solid. I like him, but I'm not as high on him as a lot of these people are, really. So 17, I've got, let's see where he is on here. Left tackle out of Northern Iowa, Trevor Penning. I think this will just really help out what the Chargers are trying to do and build with Justin Herbert and company. They can kick Rashawn Slater out to right tackle where he would be much more comfortable. So Trevor Penning, he's just outside my top 25 rankings of players. I do like him. He's a nasty player, but he needs some coaching too, because that nastiness gets out of hand a little bit. I think eventually he'll project to be like a Taylor Lewan. I love that comp. I heard it the other day, and I could not agree more. He needs to kind of tone it down a bit with the aggression. He needs to be a little more patient, but I do like him a lot. And then number 18, I've got Garrett Wilson going to the Philadelphia Eagles. I try not to do many trades in this just to keep it more traditional. Anyway, Garrett Wilson is the number 17 guy on my board. I'm, again, not as high on him as a lot of people, although I do really like him a lot. I like him a lot. I will say that. He's great, and he's a yak machine. I mean, he just eats up yards after catch. Very shifty in the open space too. You got to get him the ball in open space. And I think that's particularly why he wasn't a top 15 guy for me, because he would be great in an offense like Kansas City, a West Coast style offense where there's a lot of screens. He's given the ball in open space a ton, which isn't a slight against him. It was just a product of what you saw him in at Ohio State. Another great short to intermediate route runner, creates great separation, and he has really good release too. Strength is a little bit of a question for me. He's 6 foot 183. His frame is very slight, and breakaway speed at the next level is questionable as well to me. But I think he's gonna be a very good pro. Very good pro. Let's see. Number 19, I've got the Greek Freak, George Karloftis, going to the Saints. I don't have them taking a left tackle just yet. I think they'll look later rounds for that. And I've got George Karloftis as my number 20 guy. My scouting report on him is he was Greece-born, moved to U.S. at 13. Dad was a javelin thrower, and his mom played volleyball. 2019 high school defensive player of the year by USA Today, a two-time state shot put champ as well. He has an extremely high motor, great at close combat situations with his hands, but he's still learning the game of football. He needs a few years of coaching before he really peaks. He relies a little too heavily on hand combat and bull rush. Not a great finesse rusher. He really just tries to beat you with strength. So a lot of linemen can learn from his tape very quickly that they just have to stand back a little more and kind of wait for him to make his move, is what they do. Lacked production last year, although he was doubled a ton because he was the main guy. 10 tackles for a loss and 4.5 sacks, whereas freshman year, he came on the scene, 17 tackles for a loss and 7.5 sacks. So I like him. I think he's going to be a very, very solid, long-term defensive end starting for a team like the Saints. Number 20, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking wide receiver. Oh, there's a search bar right there, Keith. Jeez, man. I've got them taking Chris Olave. I think they like Trubisky more than we realize. I think they want to work with him. I think losing Juju Smith-Schuster was a big deal for them, so they need to replace that immediately. Their defense made some really nice moves so far this offseason. I think their offseason has been super underrated. They've helped build up that offensive line too by getting James Daniels. So I think they want to help out Trubisky a little more with Chris Olave. Olave is the number, 13 guy for me on my board. My profile on him is 38 games started in 4 years at Ohio State. He's got great game speed, ran a sub 4.3 40. In 2020 in 7 games, a shortened season by COVID, he had 50 catches for 729 yards, 7 touchdowns. Last year, he had 65 catches for 936 yards, 13 touchdowns. He kind of turned into a big-time red zone threat for them this past year. He's 6'1", but he plays a lot bigger at times, 6'1", 188. I was very impressed by him in the red zone, though. A lot of great breakaway speed too. He's the best route runner in the class, in my opinion. He has an incredible ability to read defensive backs, hip movements to see, okay, he's opening up. I'm going to take advantage of that. He's a very smart route runner, has an innate ability to track the ball down the field as well. Average hand strength, just not great, but not bad. Average in open space. I would say he's not a guy that's gonna rack up a ton of yak. But my comp on him is Terry McLaurin. I really like him a lot. I think he's going to be 1,000 to 1,100 yard receiver a season. I think he'll make 2 or 3 Pro Bowls, honestly. I really like Chris Olave. He's awesome. So that takes us to pick 21, Devin Lloyd. After the first round, I'm just going to kind of reel through these picks and just kind of give brief overviews. I have a top 25, so I'm not going to be doing this for every single player. Devin Lloyd is going to go 21 for me because I think he's just ranked higher for me at this point than Nakobe Dean. He is the number 11 guy on the board. He's 6'3", 237, redshirt senior out of Utah, 3-year starter in 36 games. In 2021, 14 games, he had 111 tackles, 66 for solo, 22 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, and 2 pick sixes. He had a complete season, one of the best linebacker seasons I've seen in a long time. Career stats is 256 tackles, 43 tackles for a loss, 15 and a half sacks. Very strong acceleration and speed, change of direction, is the best in class by far of the linebackers, I think. Especially at 6'3", it's super impressive. He improved a ton in 2021 in coverage too, making him a true 3-down back. Like safeties, I think linebackers are not up there on the totem pole for GM. So for him to go 21 is still a pretty big deal for linebacker at this point. My only real gripe on him is he takes inconsistent angles at times to the ball carrier. He gets a little, he needs to sit back a little more and be a little more patient. But I think he's going to be a great pro, and I think Bill Belichick would love to have him at 21, honestly. Which leads me to the Packers, and I think that they're going to go after a receiver here. Yes, I said receiver, and I think Jahan Dotson is a great pick here for them. He's my second favorite player in this class, second or third favorite player in this class. He's my 21 ranked guy, and he's a redshirt senior out of Penn State. He stands at 5'11", 178. Extremely sharp route runner, one of the best route runners of the class, great at creating separation as well, especially for his size, which he needs to do. He has a great vertical, so it doesn't make the 5'11" size such a big deal for me. He can track the ball very well down the field, though, especially for a small guy. He's great in tight quarters, breaking tackles to get open in open field. Extremely fast, displays gameplay speed, 4.43 40 time, but the gameplay speed is much faster, I feel like. Strong hands for his size too. He can really pull down a lot of 50-50 balls. I mean, this guy is the complete package. If he was 2-3 inches taller, he'd be a top 10 pick, no doubt in my mind, easily. With his size, he likely won't be an X. He'll be a Y or Z. He has a slight frame in NFL standards, but man, he plays big for his size. I mean, he really does. He's a dog. I think he's going to be like a Brandon Cooks. That's my comp on him, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think he'll make a couple Pro Bowls, in fact. Love him. So I got Dotson going to the Packers. And then number 23, I've got a guard from Boston College, Zion Johnson. Very versatile, played a lot of different positions in college. He was not on my top 25, but I think he would be up there, 27 or 28 probably. He's had an amazing combine. He does not look like a guy that is pushing 300 pounds. He's about 300 pounds, but I mean, he looks extremely athletic for a guy. My only concern is he might need to pack on a couple pounds actually, but he's very strong and he moved extremely well at the combine. And I think that combine performance earned him a spot in the first round. And then I got the Cowboys. They're really looking to upgrade that wide receiver position. They love making flashy moves. You know those guys over there. They want to make the splashiest move of the draft. They're going to go after Treylon Burks, who I do like a lot. He's a guy that is rated number 22 for me of my prospects. He's a 3-year starter, Arkansas. He's 6'3", 225. He can play the X, Y, or Z, honestly, because he's super fast too. He's shifty in space and has great size to break tackles. He'll benefit from West Coast systems, definitely, though. Um, I think the Cowboys can make it work with him if they go out and get him. I think he'll fall right around there. He's a good route runner with great subtle moves as well. But he relies on his body strength a little too much to get some real separation. And I don't know if he can do that at the next level. He needs to get out in space, I feel like, a little too much. So I think he'll be a nice receiver, though. I like the receivers a lot in this year's class. I feel like I've been saying that every year, but I truly do. And then number 25, I've got the Buffalo Bills. Oh man, I work with a lot of Bills fans. I know a lot of Bills fans, and I think a common theme that they were telling me is we need a corner because they lost Levi Wallace, and right now they don't have a true two to go with Tre'Davious White. So Andrew Booth right now is my 16th rated player. Might be a little higher than a lot of guys have him, but I just love his nastiness, honestly. He's excellent at route timing and feel for the game. He's very instinctual. He flips his hips very quickly and knows when to open up. Great with his hands and can play man or zone. Always looks for an opportunity to hit when defending run. He actually reminds me a little bit of Tre'Davious White coming out. His speed isn't top tier, leaving teams to think that he's going to be a zone guy. But I think with the great safety play that the Bills have, it won't be as much of a concern for him year one, and he can learn a little bit more how to, close in on guys a little easier. So number 26, I have got the Tennessee Titans. A lot of people have him going here is Kenyon Green, guard out of Texas A&M. He is my where's Kenyon Green rated? He is my 23 rated guy, 23rd rated guy on my big board. They lost Roger Saffold, and that's going to leave a glaring need for them next to Taylor Lewan. So I think this would be a great pick for them. He's a 3-year starter. He played all positions but center when he was at Texas A&M. He's got great lateral mobility, great for zone blocking schemes, great lower body strength. He's got tree trunks for legs, man. He's rarely knocked back. If he can drag a little bit though, because of that, he needs to be more consistent with his footwork. I think the combine, it showed a lot of that. But ultimately, I think he'll be a really solid guard at the next level. And then number 27, like I said, these linebackers, it's really tough to draft linebackers in the first round because there's been so many mid-round guys that you can just, you can get a guy in the 3rd or 4th round nowadays and be fine at linebacker. So Nakobe Dean, though, he had a really nice season at Georgia last year. Dean is my where is he rated? Dean, where are you? Number 18 guy on my board. He was a junior at Georgia last season. He's 6 foot 229, got great size. People think he's a little undersized because he measures 5'11" and change, but I don't really see that. He won the Buckus Award last year, had 72 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles last year. But he was a leader on that Georgia defense. He was the guy helping out, getting play calls in and really helping players get to their assignments last year. He's extremely quick and uses his speed to shed blocks consistently. He's got an extremely high motor. He doesn't finish until the play's done. I mean, this guy is making tackles left and right and really does not let up. He can take bad angles though at times. Not great in man coverage, but he won't be asked to do that a ton at the next level. I do like him to go right around this area though. You know, the Bucks have a lot of needs. Linebacker, defensive end is definitely some of those needs. Um, I think they make him fit in their scheme. And then a guy, I think he could go top 20 easily, but just the fact that there's so many skill guys ahead of him with positions that are more needed over safety, I think he goes a little later at 28, but I wouldn't be surprised if a team like Dallas gets him at 24. Even like a Philadelphia at 18, because he's so versatile. He plays in the slot. Daxton Hill out of Michigan, extremely high motor. He was really everywhere in the plays for them. You know, if it wasn't Hutchinson and Ojabo, Daxton Hill was in the play. So I really like what he brings to the table. I think he's going to be a really solid safety for many years to come. Some got the Bills taking him to at 25 because they might be looking to move on from Jordan Poyer. I don't see that this year. Maybe next year being the case though. We'll see. Number 29, I've got the Kansas City Chiefs going after Christian Watson. He displays a very rare size and speed combination. He ran a 4.3 at the combine, and he's 6'4". I mean, this guy is just a beast. Super fast for them. I think he's gonna provide for them a red zone target, but also a guy that you can get the ball in the open field and let him do the work, really. 6'4", 208. He's got great size. He's gonna be 23 this year. So for the most part, what you see is what you get from him, which I like. I don't, consider age a slight ever like that. The guy was super productive at North Dakota State. Oops. And then they're going to pick again here at 30. A lot of people have them trading up. I don't know, though. I think if they stay put, they'd be just fine getting these two guys. Boye Mafe, a huge guy off the edge for Minnesota. He just needs a lot of coaching, and he needs to develop a little more as an edge rusher, but he's got very quick get off. I like this guy a lot. He's going to be nearly 24 when the season starts. So again, what you see is what you get, but he's got a super high ceiling. And then at 31 is Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa. I like this guy a lot. He was number 25 on my big board. My scouting report on him is extremely strong hands with good technique, maintains a low center of gravity, and has great balance. Extremely high motor and tenacious. He has amazing body control as well. Short arms, though, relies on his athleticism to beat guys. Really best for zone schemes. He just screams Jason Kelce to me, though. I mean, like, he is the spitting image of this guy coming out. Number 2, I've got Kyler Gordon. I was really torn between him and Matt Elam, and that's kind of where Kyer Elam. Wow. I was really torn on the two, but that's kind of where I go to public perception and see where Kuiper rates him at this point. He's really got Kyler Gordon ahead of him and really going around this point in the draft. I never doubt Washington corners because they are just built different. So I think they really need help. They're still working on Jeff Okudah, but if he doesn't work out, they need to have a backup plan. So at 33, I've got the Jacksonville Jaguars helping out Trevor Lawrence a little more with a guy like Sky Moore. He doesn't have the size, but man, this guy is gritty. He really has strong hands and loves to fight for the ball. And then I've got, I do have the Detroit Lions getting a quarterback in Sam Howell. They lost a ton of weapons this past season. They lost De'Ami Brown, both the running backs, Jamal Williams and Michael Carter. They lost Chaz Surratt, who had like 150 tackles in 2020. So it was a really tough year for Sam Howell. I'm not making excuses, but it was really tough. They lost 3 starters on their offensive line. So I don't put it all on him. I think he's gonna be a good pro. He just needs to sit back for a year, and I think he'll be fine. Honestly, I think he can be a consistent starter though in the league. Number 35, I've got the New York Jets taking safety Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State, and then number 36, I've got the New York Football Giants taking interior defensive lineman Devontae Wyatt from Georgia. He's number 24 on my big board. My prospect profile is he's 6'3", 315, played in 32 career games for the Bulldogs, extremely explosive off the line of scrimmage, very high motor, smart and can read blocking schemes incredibly well, super cerebral guy. A lot of attention was directed with double teams versus Jordan Davis, so I guess that could be looked at as a negative toward him. Doesn't have a wide variety of moves, and his hand strength is average, but man, he's explosive off the get-go. He's probably the most explosive first step defensive tackle in this draft. So I really like him a lot. It would be, if he falls to 36, then they would get an absolute freaking steal. 37, I've got a guy that, again, I think execs are going to be looking at him differently than we are. Christian Harris out of Alabama. I don't think they see an injury history being an issue for him, and he's produced every season he's played at Alabama. He's a leader. I really like him a lot. And then 38, I've got Alec Lindstrom out of Boston College, played alongside Zion Johnson, great center. I think he's going to be a nice starter at some point. Jets really don't have a reliable center. So again, helping out Zach Wilson in that young offense. Number 39, I've got the Chicago Bears drafting an edge, Arnold Ebiketie from Penn State. He can play as a 3-4 edge. They just lost Khalil Mack, so I think the best bang for their buck to draft their first pick, 39th overall, would be getting an edge to replace that. Not that he's going to get the production, but down the road, man, he can be really solid. And then I think this is more scheme fit than anything. I think Seattle, I don't know if they roll out Drew Lock week 1 starter. They might want to trade up, package these 2 picks, trade up if they think that he might be going to, say, the Lions at 30, 32 or 34. So you could see them possibly trading up to one of these spots as well. But I like Seattle getting Matt Corral because he's such a nice scheme fit for what they do. Pete Carroll really, really, really likes to depend on the run. And I think he will kind of groom Matt Corral to be the kind of quarterback that he really wants his quarterback to be. So I think pro read option offense is the way to go for Seattle. Pick 41. I've got Bernard Raymond out of Central Michigan. This would be another steal at 41. Because he's a great tackle. I really like him a lot. And they would finally shore up that left tackle spot because Dwayne Brown ain't coming back. So, and then Indianapolis Colts, their first pick will be number 42. I like them going after Kyer Elam out of Florida. He was a top 20 guy before the season started. And then, he had a couple plays here and there where you're like, wow, where the hell was that guy? But I think he's going to be a nice pro. I think his ceiling is a 2, but I think he might end up being a nickel, which there's nothing wrong with that. So 43, I've got the Falcons. A few people might think this is high for a linebacker, but I really, really, really like Chad Muma. He obviously, it's funny, his style reminds me a lot of Logan Wilson's. came out of Wyoming. So, had nearly 150 tackles last year for them. He's just all over the field. I like him a lot. And then I think, a lot of people forget about this guy, and he's kind of fallen off the wayside, but I think he's going to go in this area just because he's only got the one real year starting at Michigan. Had a ton of production, I'll give him that, but he's got a lot to learn about football still. He's only played this game for roughly 5-6 years. And it's a big learning curve. I mean, he's a 3-4 edge primarily, so that kind of makes it so he can't be drafted as high in itself because he's not going to be a 4-3 edge. I don't think he can be. Maybe some team can work on him to get to that point, but he tore the Achilles in his pro day or whatever workout it was. So a lot of people are saying he's going to miss the entire season. So not only is he going to miss the upcoming season, but you're going to have to work with him a ton to get him up to speed and then develop him. So he's going to be a lot of work. 44 is, I think, a fair assessment for where he's going to fall. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he fell at 50 to 55, though, honestly. And then Baltimore, they just lost Bradley Bozeman. They've always been so good at drafting, and I think Cam Jurgens is such a Baltimore guy. It's not even a discussion, really. I've got a trade here. So let's see. Let me try to figure this out real quick. Pause and offer trade. How the hell do I pause and offer trade? Let's see. Oh, it won't let me. Okay. Anyway. Well. Don't want to do that. All right, whatever. Well, I had the Eagles trading up here. Like I said, not many trades, but I think the Eagles are going to see that Tariq Woolen is there, and they're going to want to go up and get him. So I also have the Minnesota Vikings after trading down to 51 going for a corner. So I'm just going to put the corner that I think they're going to take on here. It won't let me trade. I don't know why. Whatever. I think they're going to go after Kobe Bryant, but I don't think he'll go that high. I think he'll go 51. So let's just play pretend right now. And then I've got Washington at pick 47 going after DeMarvin Leal. He's one of my favorite players, probably top 5 guy in this draft. For the NCAA football season, he was like a top 5, top 10 guy. And then he just kind of fell off, and he had a ton of production last year too. People say that his frame isn't the best, but he's a big dude. I like him a lot, and they say he might not have the bend, but I think I like the tape a lot. I think 47 would be a steal, and I think he's going to be one of these second-round picks that really hits. I love his tape. Quay Walker will be going to the Bears, in my opinion. I think they need more help on defense. They got Matt Eberflus, however the hell you say it, former defensive coordinator with the Indianapolis Colts. I think he's going to want to build that defense day one. So, and then number 49, I've got the Saints sitting back and waiting to draft a quarterback. I think they really like Jameis Winston a lot more than people realize. And I think Ritter's still going to be there at 49, to be honest. A lot of people like him, but I can't get the Navy tape out of my head. He did not play well against Navy. And that's, I mean, if you can't play well against Navy, how do you expect to play well against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, Buffalo Bills of the world? Like him a lot. I'm not knocking the guy, but I think people are a little too high on him and have that selective memory sometimes on guys. Number 50, I've got the first running back going off the board. I really like these running backs, but it's just not a big need position anymore. but he can catch the ball off the backfield. He's a big dude too. He can plow through guys if he needs to. I like him a lot. So here's the Eagles pick, which is really going to be 46. It just wouldn't let me trade. And I think they want to trade up to 46 because this guy is still going to be there. Tariq Woolen. I love this guy. He's one of my favorite players in this class. He's 6'4". He ran a 4.29. Okay. He's a former receiver. He was incredible at 426, excuse me, 426. He played awesome at UTSA too. I mean, if he's available for the Eagles here, they would get an absolute steal. I think he's been a really solid number 2 in the NFL for many, many years. So that's the guy for me. 52, I've got Carson Strong. I'm not saying that they put him out year 1. I really think they like Trubisky, but it wouldn't hurt to have a guy behind him learning, and who knows what can happen. But I do like Carson Strong. He can really air it out. When you talk arm talent, I think him and Howell are on the top of the list. I think that Malik Willis puts himself ahead because he's got an advantage in the running game too. But Carson Strong, man, this guy's got some arm talent. He's kind of the opposite of Malik Willis, where Strong, man, sometimes his footwork and the way he moves in the pocket is really scary how slow he is. He's had the knee issues in college, so I think this is why he's going to slip to pick 52. But I wouldn't be surprised if he went round 3 or 4 either come Thursday night. I don't know if they go out and get Malik Willis at pick 21 or 20, whatever it is, though. It's a little, I don't know. I just don't feel it for me. I've got the Packers at 53 getting edge Nick Bonito. Got a ton of experience out of Oklahoma, highly productive in his 3 years starting. And then another guy that I think execs and GMs look at, they rate higher than most, you and me, Jamari Sawyer. He could play guard though, guard and tackle, extremely versatile guy. I think he's a Bill Belichick guy, very high effort guy. Number 55, sorry. I've got Roger McCreary, corner out of Auburn. Extremely underrated guy. He's got great size though. Abraham Lucas. I think they want to start moving on from Tyron Smith because I think personally they're fed up with it. So he's going to be a nice project to at least sit back behind him for a year. And then my second running back, I've got Kenneth Walker. You know, a lot of people say, man, they need another receiver, I think, or they should go get a safety. Imagine what Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and that offense could do if they had Kenneth Walker. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I mean, he's going to be a really good 2-down back, but I think he has the ability to be a 3. Excuse me, sorry. He has the ability to be a 3-down back as well. Wasn't asked to catch the ball a ton at Michigan State, but late in the season, he was getting games with 3-4 catches. I think he's vastly underrated in this class. He's like one of my top guys. Calvin Austin, I've got going to the Atlanta Falcons. He's a little guy, and they don't have any big guys, but they're still building. I mean, I think they can get a bigger receiver in round 3 too, but Austin was extremely productive in Memphis. If he was 6 foot, he would be a first round pick and he would be a lock. I think he's 5'9". So that, 5'8", 170. So that's the only thing holding him back, but he's got a good vertical. He's got a 38-inch vertical, so I don't worry about it a ton. It's just a small frame. I've got the Packers drafting Tyler Smith, who can also kick inside to guard. But Bakhtiar has missed a lot of time. He's on the wrong side of 30 now. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to start moving on from him and go with a guy like Tyler Smith. And then an edge guy I was talking about earlier, the Bucs need to start looking at edge guys and linebackers. I think this is the guy for them. Highly productive at Kentucky. And then I love this guy, Troy Anderson, just an athletic fucking specimen. The dude is 6'4", I believe. And yeah, 6'4", 243. He played a ton of different positions at Montana State. Only issue with him is it was Montana State. But I like him a lot. I think he's going to be an awesome pro. He is an absolute monster, high effort guy. And I think he'll help out that defense a ton. Nick Cross is a guy that's been shooting up draft boards lately. I think he's going to go 62 to replace Tyrann Mathieu. Travis Jones, he's the guy that Mel Kiper talks about. He's got great film, but it's equally as frustrating at times. A little undisciplined, but that's why I think he's going to go 63. And then it's funny, this guy, a lot of people got him going early second. He didn't produce the way that you would have liked, but I mean, that defense, just everyone feasted at Georgia. So it's really tough to grade him based on what they did in such an amazing season. What the hell is this? But yeah, that's my 2-round draft. I mean, that took about an hour. Holy crap. They're grading my draft. I don't know. First round mock. So there's my first round mock right there for you guys. Just take a look, see how I did. Tell me, roast me, whatever. I'm an open book. A lot of these guys, people are very adamant about certain guys, but I like my rankings and where I see guys. So anyway, thanks for watching, and yeah, I'm excited for draft night Thursday. I'll see you then.